We are going to be looking at some creepy videos, strange and odd news stories, and as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. This first creepy video comes from Aurora Blazing Star on TikTok, and they're going to find an entire room inside their house that they did not know was there. And I have two questions. One, why does this room lock from the outside? And two, what are those stains on the floor?
Okay, go for it.
There's a handle right here. See?
Yeah, open it up. Okay, keep opening. Oh my god. What the We have never seen this in our house, and we have lived here for 4 years. What the fuck? This has to be some kind of bomb shelter or something.
It's probably a panic room.
Oh my god. I always thought that was freaking weird down at the floor down there, because I was like, why is there a gap in the floor?
Oh.
You thought there'd be another passage?
I thought there'd be stairs.
What the?
Looks like a panic room door.
It has to be, man. What the? Okay, this is just it.
It looks so nasty, like there.
Oh my god, it's a...
What?
This house is from the 90s. It's this hidden goose room. What the? I can't believe they didn't even tell us. Like, and there's a drain. Oh my god. This is rust on the floor, right?
I sure hope so. I don't know if this is where they...
Should we bring in a cadaver? What the fuck is all this stuff? Should we bring in a cadaver dog? No, they probably had like a gun safe in here.
It looks like it could have been rust.
Yeah, that's just rust.
Let it be rust, please.
This is weird.
I think this was meant as like a panic room.
I think they had a safe in here though.
Alright, well, let's hide it so the kids don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe we can make it one of the kids' rooms though.
This would be a guest room when your mother wants to stay.
So they believe it's some kind of panic room, but as people have stated in the comments, panic rooms do not lock from the outside. And what was up with that drain? This whole thing gives me the creeps, even right down to the innocent goose magnet. This next creepy video comes from the paranormal chick on TikTok.
The following video comes from a woman named Tanya. She was watching the live announcement of the new pope when she captured something in the crowd, and thankfully she got it on video. Not only were thousands of people in attendance, but it also looks like something else, something supernatural was there, and it moved rapidly through the crowd. Take a look at this. Comment below, tell me what you think.
Dang, somebody's running through the crowd really fast. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Dang, somebody's running through the crowd really fast.
If you look closely, it looked like there were multiple black things running through this crowd, and it kind of gives off the same type of vibe as the Travis Scott concert, because there were multiple black things also seen throughout the crowd of that concert as well. And for a lot of us, we just feel like something is very off about this whole Pope situation. People were also witnessing a lot of orbs during the announcement of the new Pope as well.
Of course, people called him the People's Pope.
See the little orbs everywhere? What's that about?
That Pope follows a Finland's papacy, and I think that that's what many people
Y'all
are
see
so
these?
curious, if not
They're
anxious
orbs.
to determine today. Are these cardinals going to
What the
select
heck?
continuity or change? Really, and I've mentioned earlier how globally religion is declining, but in particular in the Catholic Church. If you look at Europe, they lost about 1.5 million Catholics just between.
Tanya.
That's so weird.
They're all over.
Is it really? Right. That's so strange.
They're all over. I just caught one on video.
Hey, do not let Shannon have all our splendor, by the way. I don't know who gave it to her last time.
I did.
The whole box?
Not the whole box. Oh my God, the orbs are off the chain.
The whole box is like, of course we can give her some. Somebody gave her the whole box.
The orbs are totally off the chain.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Wow. That's so crazy. Wow. Cindy, they just keep coming. One of them started going and went up and then went another direction. Oh my God, they're coming more and more and more. It's so crazy. One just started flying and stopped and went back up.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Cindy. Oh my God. I'm literally going to show you this video when I'm done. You're not going to believe how many have been appearing. Oh my God, they have like little personalities in their flight patterns. Absolutely insane.
But there is something generally evil about the Vatican, and 5 Acres and a Mule on TikTok does a great breakdown about just how bizarre the Vatican happens to be.
This is a zoom out frame of the Pope's throne. I do have sources labeled at the bottom of the video. On this clip, you can see what appears to be an eye and a fang. You'll see why I said that in a little bit. Now, the Pope's walking out. I kept this in here so you can see that he's actually sitting in front of this throne later when he gives a speech. But when you zoom out from the throne, this is what it looks like into the audience. They don't pan out to this. They only show one side at a time. They never show the entire thing. But this is the image zoomed out. I went into Google Earth, so in the Vatican's address, and I wanted to show y'all 360 from above and all the way around of what it looks like on the outside of the building. The roof actually looks like scales. It actually looks like scales from each individual, the way it's placed, and it's like, you could see it. It looks like scales. And then the eye placement on each side, and then it almost looks like a nostril right here. And the shape of the building is rounded like a snake's head. As you can see, it dents at the back, and it goes up, and everyone walks in from the back of the snake's head. From what appears to be the back of the snake's head, in my opinion. And the Pope actually sits between the fangs in the front. So they walk in the back of the head, and he sits at the fangs. And if you look at it, there's an eye on this side, and there's an eye on the other side. It's a stained glass window. I think it's purposely made because they could have made this building in any shape, but they decided to make it this shape. And the roof shingles looks like scales to me. Let me know in the comments what you think, but I just thought I'll show you this. I got this image from Google, and this is a screen recording from my actual phone. And the other image is from the Vatican's news, and there's another image from Facebook, End Times, and that's just the image of the inside of the church.
I mean, it can be debated what the Pope sits in front of at the Paul IV Audience Hall. It does look dark, evil, and twisted, and looks like it comes straight from hell. But the Paul IV Audience Hall does indeed look like a giant serpent's head. This next creepy video comes from Neil Sakaris on TikTok.
Changed, but remember, the devil is in the details. Double Dark Star. That's a very interesting name, but look at this logo right here. This is part of the photo shoot for the advertisement. Clearly demonic. Obviously, they're trying to market a different look. And now here's the details. Look at that star right there upside down. You can see the star right here, and there it is right there. And I get it. The first response from a lot of people is we're just going to go ahead and boycott the brand. We're not going to wear any more Converse. The reality is, my friend, if you look at every single evil that's happening in the world, there's no escaping it. It's in everything. It's in all of our food. It's in all of the branding. It's in all of the governments. The evil is everywhere.
That photo shoot is absolutely wild, and he is correct. Dark energy is just in everything. It's not just Hollywood, not just the music industry. It's also in what we eat. It's also in the fashion industry and so forth. Rick Owens is also married to Michelle Lammy, who is known as the Hollywood Witch. These people get down in some dark and evil stuff, and there's going to be a lot of people walking around with their logo and not aware of what they're walking around with. This next creepy video comes from the Trumpet Ezekiel on TikTok, and I really have to say the location of Astana is very interesting, and I think one day I'm going to do a very big breakdown on this location.
What would you think if I could take you to a place where the 200 fallen angels built a boardroom for them to all meet? It would have to be at the top of a finished pyramid, at the end of a pointed sword, with a phoenix right there into the front yard. And if you clicked inside of it, it would have a round table where they could all meet together, all 200 of them. And if you go right inside the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation, I'm going to show you their boardroom. All 200 delegates meet right here in the top of this finished pyramid. It's one of the only finished pyramids I've ever seen in my life. And if you click on that little mark right there, it's going to take us down inside that hole. And that's what's underneath the Palace of the Peace and Reconciliation, where the 200 fallen angels meet. That sun shines right through the middle of that table that holds 200 people, and it goes all the way down to the middle of the floor in the basement, which is the amphitheater, and that's where all the people can meet. It says 200 seats for the world's religious meetings. Chapter 3 in Enoch 1 tells you that there were 200 fallen angels that descended in that day. And right there, it tells you the names of those people, and they were the leaders of 10. I've never heard of anybody even mention this place or a Christian telling me that they went there. Okay, click on the U.S. Embassy in Astana and then zoom down right down the street and you'll see that portal right there. I thought this was super weird, but there's no pictures of it. So if you go across the street and click on that little blue dot right across the river, and then roll that thing around right there and you're going to see this. Looks like a portal to me.
The fact that there's just so little information about this location makes it even more mysterious. But yeah, 200 fallen angels, 200 seats. I mean, is that really just a coincidence? But there are definitely some mysterious and interesting locations within the United States as well that sometimes you do not want to go to, especially Wolf Creek, Oregon. I have heard some horror stories about Wolf Creek, and this next video comes from Bigfoot Society on TikTok.
Wrong road in Wolf Creek can put you... Going down the wrong road in Wolf Creek can put you in a world of trouble. You're about to hear why. Got a very interesting direct message from an individual who will remain anonymous about some things she's experienced over the years up in Wolf Creek. So buckle up for this one. I'll read it as it was sent. I was living in Wolf Creek with my family in the year 2000 to 2002. I was about 10 to 12 at the time, and we moved there to do in-home elderly care for a local woman. My family really enjoys outdoor time and like to go on random drives just to check out scenery and stop in pretty areas. We drove up into the woods. That's all there is up there. And my stepdad had spotted what looked like abandoned gravel road that led to a meadowy creek area with lots of wildflowers. What made this spot particularly creepy was that where the main road met the gravel, it had large boulders placed in front of it, clearly there to keep people from driving into it where the creek was. No matter how many times my mother and older brother pleaded with him not to do it, my stepdad pulled over, got out of the car, and began rolling the rocks out of the way so that we could drive our very unprepared little car down the hill into this secluded little creek area. We pointed out to him that this was clearly something someone had done in order to keep people out, but he assured us it was fine and that nobody would care because we were in the middle of nowhere. Once we drove down to the bottom and parked the car, we all got out and began walking around a bit, not disturbing anything, but just enjoying how beautiful it was and enjoying the fresh air. We did, however, notice that just beyond the little meadowy area there was a little hill, and on the other side of that hill looked to be some human activities such as tarps and maybe trash. We didn't go beyond the hill into that area because we knew that it could be potentially hazardous. We were down there for about 10 to 15 minutes before a large old truck could be heard pulling down the dirt road, and I'll never forget what it looked like and what it sounded like. The old rusty brown truck slowly came down the hill and parked directly behind our car. At that point, there would have been no way for us to get out. And my mom told me and my brother to get back in the car and that we were leaving. We hurried back and jumped in. The truck was still behind us and running, but nobody was getting out. My stepdad began waving his hand apologetically and saying sorry that we were about to leave, but nobody responded, and me and my brother watched from inside the car, petrified for what felt forever. We were convinced that we weren't going to make it home that evening. Finally, an old Appalachian-looking man stepped out of the truck and slowly took a few steps towards our car with what appeared to be a gimp in his leg, and his hand curled up his sleeve, clearly hiding a pew up his arm. As my dad profusely apologized and explained that we were only looking at the creek and the scenery, the only thing the man said was, "How far did you go?" My dad responded with, "Just the creek. We were only just looking at the creek and all the ferns down there." He asked again, "How far did you go?" My dad jumped in the car and continued apologizing over and over out the window and told the man that we were just wanting to go home, that we were just a family with kids and meant no harm, and we were very sorry and just wanted to leave. The man just stared at us with a terrifying look on his face, not saying a word for a long time. He then slowly turned, got in his truck, and sat in his running truck behind our car for about 10 minutes, staring at us. To this day, we're sure he must have been contemplating whether or not to let us all go or to bury us back behind that hill beyond the meadow in fear of what he thought we might have witnessed back there. Apparently, there was something back there that he didn't want anyone seeing. He slowly backed his truck up to the top of the hill, and we followed in our little red car. As he moved aside, we did a turnaround and whipped out of there, but in the distance we seen that he had gotten out of his truck and began putting the stones back in place, and we never went that far up the road again. Have you experienced anything like this around Wolf Creek? Let me know by putting it in the comments or sending me a DM with your story if you'd like me to share it on the channel. And again, look out when you're in the roads around Wolf Creek.
But talking about orbs, this was witnessed by this individual here, and he does not know if it was a drone or it was some kind of entity.
Was taken by a construction worker. He states that many of his colleagues have said recently that they have been seeing strange things. So one night he decides to stay in the monitoring area to be able to see what his colleagues were observing. But he was taken by surprise when he observed a mysterious fireball. A fireball that seems to travel all over the place. Watch this.
Hantu guys. Hantu kepala merah. Termonitor di area belakang gudang anda. Dia arah belakang, arah jalan koridor belakang gudang anda. Hati-hati guys, hati-hati guys di gudang anda. Hantunya mengintai.
The only sense of this I can make whatsoever is that this is possibly AI, but I feel like we'll eventually fall down that hole of claiming that everything strange and bizarre that's witnessed on camera is AI. And I think that's the ultimate goal of artificial intelligence, is to cover up the very bizarre and strange things that will be captured on camera. But usually, or most of the time anyway, TikTok is good at labeling things to be AI, and so far, this video has not been labeled AI generated. If you're not aware, I believe it was yesterday where Tennessee had a 4.1 magnitude earthquake that was felt in multiple states, 6 states, including Atlanta, Georgia. But the day before that, there was horrific hail in Tennessee as well. Check out what was captured. But it wasn't just Tennessee, it was also the Carolinas as well. This next video is from Moon Henry on TikTok.
But did y'all happen to get woken up at 9 a.m. as well and turn out to be an earthquake in Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina? Something weird actually happened in North Carolina. We'll get to it in a second. So I didn't even know it was an earthquake at first. Dog was barking, things were shaking, but look how far the aftershocks went. But look at the location. If you don't notice the location, I don't know what to tell you, but that's where Helene went, and that's where all the major storms have been the last few months, ever since Helene. But check out this right here. This was happening in North Carolina yesterday, around the same exact area. Now, I've lived in the Carolinas my entire life for 31 years, and hail like this, especially happening this often, is not normal at all. But the crazy weather is not limited to the United States. They've been having hailstorms in Spain every single day, snowstorms in the Middle East and the deserts here, all sorts of crazy freaking stuff. It's almost like something weird's going on. I mean, this is insane. This was Asheville again, the direct place that was affected by Helene and all the surrounding areas. Just crazy hailstorms out of nowhere. Nowhere. Pretty crazy stuff. And by the way, there's actually been earthquakes every single day in the United States. We just had one in Texas, up north somewhere. Every single day we're having earthquakes. Who in the comments wants to guess where the next one's going to show up in the United States? I guess Virginia. Bookmark it.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.